constant, superior design number of mathematics, 1.618. So where is the golden mean point of the Earth? The proportion of distance between Mecca and the North Pole to the distance between Mecca and the South Pole is exactly 1.618, the golden mean. Moreover, the proportion of the distance between the South Pole and the city of Mecca to the distance between both poles is again 1.618, the golden mean point of the Earth, according to common location language of mankind. Graticule map is in the city of Mecca. The proportion of eastern elongation to the western elongation, which are determined as solstice line from Mecca, is again 1.618. Moreover, as shown in the figure, the proportion of western elongation of Mecca to the solstice line to the perimeter of the Earth on this very latitude is surprisingly the golden mean, 1.618. Miracles continue. The golden mean miracle in the Mecca verse of the Quran. The total number of all letters of this verse is 47. Calculating the golden mean of letter total, we find out that the word of Mecca is expressed by 47 divided by 1.618 equals 29.
There is a magical number in the universe, and it's 1.618. This number is called the golden ratio. It follows a particular algebraic equation. Apparently, many historical people have been aware of this number, and they would deliberately use it in their architectures and paintings. Interestingly enough, it's also found in nature. So let's just agree that this number is special. But the claim of the video is that if Mecca has something to do with this number, then that would mean that Mecca is special, and it is the chosen place of God, and thereby Islam is true. We could try to question the logic behind this, but I don't think that's gonna get us anywhere. So let's actually take a look at the claims that the video makes. There are two claims made. One is that Mecca is at the golden mean of Earth. The second is that the word Mecca appears as the golden mean of a verse in the Quran. Let's actually tackle the easiest claim first. Let's take a look at the verse from the Quran. This is chapter 3, verse 96. The claim is that the total number of letters equal 47, and Mecca is at the 29th letter, and therefore it's at the golden mean of the sentence. There is something bothering about this, and that is the way they did the calculation. I would expect them to do 47 divided by 29 and get the magic number as the answer, but they chose to do it this way. You know why that is? Because 47 divided by 29 would give you 1.620. Now, if you think that was deceptive, wait till you see this. Let's actually count the letters. And remember, the word we were looking for is Mecca, which is right here. It reads to be Becca, and Becca is apparently another name for Mecca. And the video claims that that is at the 29th letter. So let's actually count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I do want to admit that I could have made a mistake here. I'm not really sure, for example, this particular letter, I'm not really sure if that is counted as a letter, because in Arabic this acts like a vowel, but even if that is the case, we would get something less than 24. So right there we have it. The video is just deceptive, it's just lying. The other claim made in the video is that Mecca is at the golden mean of Earth because the proportion of the distances from Mecca to both the poles is going to give you 1.618. Now let's just assume for a second that the proportion is actually equal to the magic number. Does that mean Mecca is the only place on Earth that's going to give you that proportion? Well, no, because you could draw a line through Mecca around the globe, and any point on that line would have the same distance from the North Pole as Mecca does. Now consider this. Let's call this distance x, and that's the distance from the North Pole to Mecca. What you could also do is that take the same distance from the South Pole and draw a line through that, and any point on that line would also give you the same proportion as Mecca does. Now it does seem to me that the professionals who made that video were aware of the fact that Mecca wouldn't be the only place on the globe that would give you a proportion of 1.618, which is probably why they went on to do their magic on a standard map. So the claim here is that the proportion of the distances from Mecca to both the sides is equal to the magic number. And also, the proportion of the distance from Mecca to both the corners would also give you 1.618. Once again, let's trust the professionals who made this video that they actually got the numbers right, and ask the question if Mecca is the only place on this map that will give you that proportion. For simplicity, let's think of the map as a rectangle. So that dot is Mecca. Well, I could always draw another diagonal, and that point would also give me the same proportion as Mecca does. Also, I could take this distance from the other end of the diagonal, and that would also give me two other points on both diagonals. And all these 4 points would give me the same proportion. Now just for fun, what are these points on the regular map? Well, one is in the middle of the ocean, one is Mecca, one is Brazil, and the other one I think is Madagascar. So if the professionals who made this video actually got their numbers right, Muslims now have 4 places they can pray to. Now for the fun part, let's actually see if the professionals who made this video actually got their numbers right. So the first claim is that the distance from the South Pole to Mecca divided by the distance from the North Pole to Mecca should give you the magic number, or 1.618. Now let's see how true this is. This right here is the coordinates for Mecca. And this is a website that allows you to calculate the distances between two coordinates. And 90 degrees south is the South Pole. So from the South Pole to Mecca, the distance is 12,390 kilometers. And from the North Pole, it's 7,626 kilometers. And that ratio is unfortunately not 1.618. The other calculation that was done is that the total distance, that is the distance from North Pole to South Pole divided by the distance from the South Pole to Mecca, should give you 1.618. Well, let's see if that is true. Again, from South Pole to Mecca it's 12,390, and from the South Pole to the North Pole it would be 20,020 kilometers. And again, the ratio is not 1.618. I'll agree this number is close, but hey, if God did this, I'm expecting him to be accurate. The next calculation we need to check is that which was done on the standard map. Remember, the claim here is that Mecca is at the golden mean of this map because the ratio of the distances from Mecca to both the sides will equal the magic number. Also, the ratio of the distances from Mecca to both the corners would also give us the magical number, or 1.618. Now I will be using Adobe Photoshop's ruler tool to measure this, and this tiny red dot is where I have approximated Mecca to be. So let's actually do this. And remember, because we're looking for a ratio, the actual size does not matter because ratios are dimensionless. And we get 331.27. Let's check the other side. And we have 466.83. and the ratio we get is equal to 1.409 and not 1.618. Next calculation was done on the diagonal, that is 461.14. The other side would be 537.95, and that ratio is 1.166. Let's do this on another map. This is one that I got from the National Geographic website. It's 195.92. The other side would be 314.66. And in this case, the ratio is 1.606. Now let's measure the distance to the two corners. 299.35. The other side would be 416.64. And the ratio is 1.391. And this is a map that I got off Wikipedia, and it described it as the standard map used since the 16th century. And from there to the sides we have 799.74, and the other side 1250.85, and that ratio is equal to 1.564, and we get 1552.26, and the other side is 1037.76, and the ratio is 1.495. Before I move on to my fourth map, I wanted to point out something. The reason we got different ratios for different maps is because all three maps are not quite the same. For example, compare the sizes of Antarctica on each map, and also get how these two maps have parts of Russia on the side of North America, while this map does not. So it's definitely possible to adjust the map in such a way that you could, in fact, make Mecca the golden mean of the map. So it's definitely possible to create a map where Mecca could be at the golden mean of a map. So having said that, let's move on to the greatest work of failure ever produced on YouTube. I'm actually going to measure the distances on the map given in the video, and let's see if that map, the map used in the video, is gonna give us the magic number. The claim here is that the distance A divided by the distance B should give you the magic number, or 1.618. Now let's see if it's actually true. And distance B is 689.81, and distance A equals 1076.68, and the ratio is 1.560. The next claim is that the distance B divided by C equals 1.618. I don't even need a calculator to tell you that's wrong. B is less than C, and there's no way you're gonna get a number greater than 1. Now let's check if they got this right. So we have, that is 767.95, and distance A equals 1210.94, and the ratio is 1.5768. Having shown that almost every claim made in the video were false, there are only two things I need to say. The first thing is that even if every claim made in the video were true, or even if the people who made the video got their numbers right, it would still mean that everything in the video was a trick of numerology. People of different religions have done this to promote their faith, and it's not something an intelligent person would take seriously. The second thing is an advice for the professionals who made the video. Next time you're out there making a video to deceive and brainwash people, try working with someone who knows how to do math.